Just see what happens. Do you have a microphone in your computer?
What about now? How's that?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, we got
Yes.
you now. All right.
Let's go.
Perfect.
Tech wizard.
There we go.
We got it figured. Man, sorry about that, fellas. It should be simple, shouldn't it? But we're here now, so I appreciate
No,
it.
it is okay. Well, Lewis, first off, welcome to Inside the Game. We're excited to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Appreciate all you guys do, and appreciate the opportunity.
So let's talk women's soccer at Western Michigan. I know a lot of coverage has been talked about the men's side over the years, right? Chad Wiseman's done a great job there, but you have done a fantastic job in your own right. You've won 2 MAC League titles in consecutive years, right? You are currently on a 3-game win streak here, obviously starting off 0-2. That's a non-league schedule, can kind of get in the early going of a season. You were picked preseason league winners once again. Talk about how you're able to pull this off, because I think that one of the biggest challenges is being consistent. How do you stay consistent? How do you stay on top? And I'd imagine on some level as a coach, that's something that you're having to deal with right now in real time.
Yeah, definitely. And, we're very lucky. We've had a great experience the last couple of years. And as you rightly mentioned, we've got a fantastic men's program here who we're able to work pretty closely with and share ideas and kind of jump on the coattails of a little bit, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's definitely the challenge, I think, in college soccer now is being consistent, especially in such a transfer portal heavy world. Kind of gone are the days where you have classes and you know that you rely on them for 4 years and everything shapes out that way, right? It's the positive is it's maybe a little bit easier, or there's an opportunity to jumpstart things a little bit quicker, but then you're kind of under the pressure every year to reload and continue with the standards. So, we've been able to do that in the 3 years I've been here. We've been able to gradually improve, I think, a little bit each year. But it's definitely not easy. It takes a lot of work and a lot of great people behind the scenes to get that done, for sure.
So, you look at this season, and obviously you have a big game coming up here against DePaul here on Saturday. You have, again, won 3 in a row. You start off 0-2. When your team goes off and loses the first 2 games of the season, what's that conversation like to get the team, especially in 2025, to get a team that had so much success last year, to get them kind of rolling again? Because I can imagine a little bit going into this, there's an excitement about last year, building on that. Hey, did we take a step back? Or, how does that look? Because you were 0-2 to start the season.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, great question. And it was hard. I mean, we'd kind of planned a little bit for it, and you always plan through when you build these seasons, like best case scenario, right? You're sitting 5-0, 5 games in. Worst case scenario, you're sitting 0-5. There's a reality that can happen in this game too. When we scheduled those games and we knew our opening 4 games in Notre Dame, Iowa, Creighton, and Michigan, right? There's a reality that you can lose all of those games, very, very quickly and very simply. Our plan all along was get in them, get tested against some of the best teams in the country, hopefully come out with a couple wins, maybe 2 wins, maybe 3 wins, maybe 1 win. Then you get into the thick of those 4 games and you think like, wow, these 4 games don't come as a 4. They come like 1 game after the other. So you got to play each of these like powerhouse programs, great coaches, great teams on an individual game where the last game doesn't matter and the next game doesn't matter. So it's certainly pretty daunting, but I think the way it went for us, like the Notre Dame game for the opener went really well for us in a lot of ways. We lost 2-1, so of course that wasn't what we wanted. It wasn't what we planned, but I thought we gave a really good account of ourselves. We played against, one of the top attacking teams, I believe now the number 1 team in the country. And we made it really hard for them. And we gave a really good account of ourselves. And, not saying for 1 second we're a better team than them, of course, but we competed with them in certain areas in the game, which we were able to take loads of positives from. We got away with a 2-1 loss where we had some chances. We felt we left a couple of chances out there as well. So that was great. Then we followed it up. We went to Iowa, where honestly it was a bit of an opposite feeling. We felt like we didn't really get off the bus at Iowa. They a very different team, but equally difficult to play against. And honestly, they just plowed over us. They were physical, they were direct, they were aggressive, they were really hard, and we never really got going. And we really didn't give a good account of ourselves. So then you kind of regroup the next week and you take those 2 lessons, like the things we did well at Notre Dame to give us a chance to win, the things we didn't do well at Iowa to result in not having a chance to win that game. and then you pick some things from it, right? And then we were able to get through a really physical game in Creighton. Great win for our program. That was a tough one. And then obviously, whenever you play at Michigan, it's a tough game, and to be able to go in there and come out with a win like we did is a real confidence booster. So I think it's been a great 4 or 5 game spell that we've been able to learn some lessons. We've been able to have some highs, have some lows, and ultimately that's what gets you ready for conference runs too, right?
What were some of your biggest lessons? What were some of your biggest takeaways personally from facing off against 2 top 10 teams to begin the season?
Yeah, well, there was a load of them because, I mean, they're very opposite teams, right? Notre Dame have to be like one of the prettiest possession-based soccer teams you'll watch play. And if you're watching games, like you watch them play, they play a very kind of structured possession formation. That all of their players are super technical. They very rarely play the transitional game, play on the counter. They're looking to dominate the ball. Transitional game, play on the counter. They're against them, which we did well. And then Iowa are a very fast-paced, direct transitional team. So you got ready for 2 different things. I think against Notre Dame, we learned how to defend on our terms and really exploit teams in a counterattack, which we know we're pretty good at. Against Iowa, we learned that, hey, if you show up and you're 1% not in this game, you're not ready to physically and mentally compete, the rest of it is worthless, and there's no point in showing up. And I think that's what happened at the Iowa game, and we took that lesson. And listen, since we got back from that Iowa trip, we've shown up physically and mentally in everything we do, and we know if we do that, we'll always have a chance. If we do get to do that, we get to work on the X's and O's and the fun part of the game, and I think that was a really important lesson early on against the top team, which. Also, I mean, there's no shame in losing to that team, right? I think a lot of teams will lose to that team this year. So it's nice to take that lesson and know that we could have done better. And hopefully we get to play them again at the end of the season, right?
Is that your radio in the background? Are you jamming over there? Or is that something?
No, you know what? I've got my office here at Western Michigan is actually turns into a football suite. So I oversee the football stadium right here. So football practice goes on 9 to 11. So periodically they blast rap music here. So apologies if you can hear that in the background.
You're good.
There's no way to avoid that one, unfortunately.
Just trying to get ready. I get it. One of the things I wanted to quickly ask, because I think it's interesting, and we're seeing it at Western specifically. It seems like there's a bit of a renaissance going on with some of their athletics teams. I mean, you see what hockey did in winning a national championship. There's a lot of other programs that continually get better. And I think one of those areas that maybe not a lot of people see or know about is obviously soccer and what you guys have been able to accomplish and build, and now the respect you're getting from the conference as well. What went into, how have you been able to kind of build something that is now almost systematic to where success is kind of building on success over at Western?
Yeah, I think that number one, I think success, standards, winning, like it's all contagious, right? I think it all rubs off with each other. I think, like I mentioned at the beginning, no coincidence, we have a successful men's team. We work pretty closely together. I think one of the staffs that we share, we're next door to each other in an office. We share ideas. We work pretty close. I think that's important. I think you mentioned the hockey championship. We've had a lot here on campus the last few years. I think it's department-wide. I think we've got very strong leadership who sets very high standards. And, hey, we value winning here. I think that's something in this institution. When I came here and we spoke to AD Dan and his team, and the big important part of that was winning is really important here, right? We want to win, of course, off the field in all other areas, but we enjoy championships, and we celebrate championships, and we celebrate wins, and that's a big part of the DNA of who we are. And it might sound all schools, it's just not. I think others have different values and different priorities, but here, we don't move away from, like, winning is important. That's why we play the sport. That's why we're part of this program. It's not to say we're going to win every day and we're going to win every championship, right? We won't, but we do value that. And I think when you get a part of that, and you get a part of a department and a program and a soccer field where we expect success, I think it's contagious. And we've worked really hard to make sure that we bring the right people into the room who also value that. Because, like I said, as sad as it is, not everybody does, and I think that might be something that's pretty unique here.
Lewis, you are in the result business. Right? We talk about this a lot with coaches, right? In the Division I college era, you are responsible for winning soccer games, right? And you have had a chance to do some really great things in your short time at Western, right? You are the first team in MAC history to go undefeated in league play in consecutive seasons, right? 23 and 24. You were named two-time MAC Coach of the Year, 23, 24. So those 2 years, right? And then obviously the fact that your administration there at Western believes so much in you that they gave you a contract extension here this February. Knowing that you have that support, does that take that layer of pressure off a little bit so you can focus on the things that are most important in the program, which is growing it and making it stronger? Because I feel like sometimes when you have that pressure of like, hey, you have to always win, all these things, they always have that support of your administration. You don't always feel like you have that support.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you guys know, you speak to enough people in this world and this soccer world that, contracts are typically short and they typically get broken if anything comes along, right? Whether it's opportunity or whether it's a couple of bad results. And something we have here, like I say, I feel every day that my leadership have a lot of faith in me and our process. And I hope and I think that then runs into the players and the team and my staff as well. And of course it is. And I think you're exactly right there, Jonathan. I think we forget, and again, we forget sometimes with all of the other things going on, that we are in a results business. We are, and results are still a really important part of why we should play this game and why the game is played. It's not everything, right? Of course not. Like there's a lot of other important areas and values we have in our program, but we are a part of that. And I think my values align with that, along with our leadership. And I think that shows in the way we do our work every day. And certainly it's a great place to be. I'll tell you, I'm very happy here and enjoy coming to work every day and love the people I get to work with and for, and my team I get to work over. We all share most of those values too, which makes for a great day-to-day environment.
Oh, absolutely. We talked to a lot of coaches. We had a chance yesterday to talk with Bobby Muss from Wake Forest. We talked with the NC State's head coach, men's soccer coach here earlier in the week as well, Mark Hubbard. We're talking with coaches. We're asking these questions because schools like Wake Forest, schools like NC State now are what we consider to be destination schools, right? If you are a player coming up right now, a high school player who maybe not, because we also believe that because of the transfer portal, it's really becoming one of these things where you're not recruiting the same way you used to recruit, right? Going after and getting that freshman, it's now, well, let's see what the transfer portal might look like to bring in those kind of free agents, so to speak, that have already played at a collegiate level in some way. Is Western Michigan a destination school?
Like, you're spot on the way you think, the way you explain it. I think there's so many different schools, right? And on the women's side, we got 360 something, and I think everyone is different, for better, for worse, has its own ideas. I think what we are is we're a destination for people that want the things that we provide, right? So we're a very transferable school. We offer just about every major. We're geographically located smack bang in between Detroit and Chicago, right? So you're from Detroit, you're from Chicago, which are two soccer hotbeds. You want to be 2 hours from home so your family can come watch. You can get home to see them. That's it. We have everything around us that you need to be successful as a soccer player, right? You have coaches, you have facilities, you have support. So in that, like, if those are the things you want and you like to compete to win championships and be held to that standard, I believe that Western is a destination program, right? Now, if you don't value those things, or you say you do, but you don't really, then there's a lot of other places out there, right? And we're not the only one, of course. There's different destination programs in every conference, in every geographic area, but that's who we've had success with. And like you mentioned, the gap, I believe strongly that there's still an opportunity for the 4-year player, and you need those 4-year players, but you're naive if you don't use the transfer portal to your advantage. And I think we've had success when we've combined the two of those things. We've still got a lot of fantastic freshmen that come in, 4-year players that want to be here at Western Michigan, want to be here for 4 years, want to get a Bronco degree, want to be here as part of our program. But we've also had some success with some guys that have come in the door and they're here for 3 months, and they're here for a season or they're here for 2 seasons. So I think you've got to combine both of those things to be successful in this game in 2025. And, we're all, I guess, still trying to figure it out, right?
What's up, Lewis? Ryan here. I'm the producer here, and of all these coaches' interviews, I've never asked a question, but today is going to be that day because I had to. So I'm a Chippewa, actually. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I got to call all the CMU women's games, home games last year, and I was really impressed with your side and Blitchock, Jen Blitchock. And my question for you is, does the CMU Western rivalry for you guys, when it's the week of, does the intensity kind of dial up? Is it an all year kind of thing, or like kind of how is the CMU Western rivalry for you guys over there?
Yeah, well, good to see you again, and apologies first off that you didn't get accepted into Western, so you had to go to Central.
I didn't apply there.
That's normally the story.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Come on.
Where's the clapping? The button? Come on.
No, I'm not doing the clapping button today.
No, listen, hey, it is, man. It is. And it's a lot of fun. Listen, it's another unique thing we have here at Western is playing in the MAC. Whatever you think of the MAC is a 12-team conference with a lot of close rivalry games that we can get on a bus, drive to a game, play a school that we've all got similar resources, right? There's nobody in this league that is too good and can't be touched. And there's nobody in this league that you walk into a game and you go into that game thinking, can't wait, going to be an easy day today, right? And I think that's what's great about the MAC. So when you throw in that Western Central rivalry, like, of course, that it means a lot for our players. It means a lot for this school, right? When that week comes along, it's always a big one. And as you probably know, we've struggled in that game the last couple of years. They've always been a little bit of a slip up for us. And I think you'd probably look on paper and say we should win that game, how the teams line up. And it always goes out the window come that week. It's history, and the season and your record always doesn't mean anything for that day, right? And we've struggled with it a little bit. I mean, Central's always been, in my eyes, maybe a little bit of an underperforming team on the season, but they've got a lot of good players. They've got great coaching staff. They make it tough, and of course they get up for this game too. So yeah, we've circled that one a little bit this year, and we're hoping to get that one back and put in a good performance, because we've like I say, we've struggled with it the last couple of years. I think that maybe the moment has got to us a little bit, and we've played the rivalry instead of the game sometimes. But it certainly has a little bit of extra spice on it, and we're looking forward to it again.
All right, thank you, Lewis. Thank you.
Jeez, Pete's. I love that comment. If that goes down as a mic drop moment here on the show, I'm sorry you didn't get accepted into Western.
It's great. It was a great one. I won't lie.
It's like, that was great. If only that would have been like the end of like the show, right? Been like, mic drop, out we go, right? It would be perfect. But this is my last question for you, Lewis. We ask all of our coaches, anyone that comes on our show, and sometimes we ask a little bit different. Western's known for some really good places, some hole in the wall places to get some food. It's known for a lot of really kind of places that if you're of age to go out and get a nice drink. A question for you: you come home off of a MAC road trip, right? And you're feeling, you're that urge to go grab a bite to eat, right? Where are you going?
Oh, it's a great question. Great question. So I'm a bit unique. On my drive home from the field to my house, there is the Gun Lake Casino that I drive straight past. So they got a beautiful steakhouse. They got a great Chinese place in there. So that's usually my go-to and my stop off at home. On campus, we're lucky. We got a couple of great little student restaurants and Roadhouse and in the Goat. There's a little hole in the wall bar, Waldo's, which is right next to the football stadium, which any local will always tell you about and we'll get to. So yeah, we're lucky. But the casino restaurant is usually my stop off on the way home and see if I'm feeling lucky or not.
I was going to say, are you throwing a $20 bill in to see if you win a couple $100 real quick in a slot machine?
So we can win some more.
I usually am. Yeah, the rule is if we're winning, that's what we usually do. So a little bit of fun, yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, Lewis, you guys played DePaul here on Saturday at home. Currently 3-2 here to start your season. MAC play begins here later this month. And obviously, we're excited to have you on the show. And we wish you and Western Michigan much success here the rest of the way.
Yeah, thanks for having us, guys, and thanks for all you do for the soccer community here and nationally. So appreciate you guys.
Well, we appreciate you as
Thank you,
well.
sir.